not because I think I'm better. I'm just used to little kids. A little about me. Obviously, I'm a deputy sheriff. I work for Stanislaus County. Last July was my 28th year, so a little bit long time. Hopefully, I only got a couple more years. This is my partner, K-9 Cody. Cody, he's a 7-year-old Belgian Malinois. So most people look at him and think, well, he's a German Shepherd. He's not. He's a Belgian Malinois. Most of the Malinois that you normally see run between 55 and 70 pounds. He's a little bit of the, I think he got all the food when he was a puppy dog, because he's 105 pounds. Big boy. Issues with that we run into. My last guy, he was 70 pounds. Really easy. If he had to go into an attic, I just picked him up and we threw him in an attic, and 105 pounds. I just don't throw him on my shoulder and lift him. He's getting excited because usually when we start talking, he gets to bite somebody at the end. And you know, crawling underneath houses, he has issues with that because he's such a tall dog. About my dogs, my first dog was a German Shepherd. His name was Peppa. He came from Czechoslovakia, so I had to learn all of his commands were in Czech. My second dog was from Germany, so I had to learn all new commands in German. And of course, he came from Holland, so all my commands are in Dutch. So I can go to Czechoslovakia, Germany, and Holland. I can make you sit. I can make you roll over. I can make you bark. But I'm in trouble if I try to do anything else. And I may be in trouble giving you those commands too. So, when we buy our dogs, we used to go to a place in North Carolina when we got our first dogs, because that was the thing that all the local agencies did. It was the new fad. You know, we go to North Carolina. I don't know why, but that's what we did. So we flew 2 deputies there. They picked out dogs. They paid probably about $3,500 to $4,000 for the dogs. Brought them back. They didn't work. Oh well, we were out $3,000 to $4,000 plus the traveling. Now we go to a place in Riverside. It's called Allarhurst. We're paying $10,000 for the dogs, but the $10,000 we get good dogs, dogs that work. Out of the last, I think we've gotten 23 dogs from him. We've only sent 3 back because they didn't work. He has guarantees and policies. Even if we certify our dog and he doesn't work on the street, just because he certifies, we go through a 2-week training program to get the dog ready for patrol. If he passes that and gets out on the street for say 6 months and he won't engage people, or he's just too stubborn, we can return him and get a new dog. The 3 that we returned, one of them, his first deployment, we go to a house and the deputy starts pounding on a door real hard, the dog took off running. So that's not a good police dog. So he went back, he got retrained to be a dope dog. So he's not around the dynamic of, you know, being a search dog. Also, if the dogs come up with some kind of medical issue, you know, Shepherds have the dysplasia issue because of the way they're bred versus the Malinois. I don't know if you noticed when he walked in, he doesn't walk like a Shepherd with the lowered back. He walks very straight back. So we tend to have less of that health issue with the backs with these dogs. Again, if we have any kind of medical issues with them because of that, or something just bizarre happens, like we had one that broke all of his teeth, and it turned out he had a vitamin deficiency. So we took him back, and he gave us a whole new dog. That's kind of why we're paying $10,000 is for those guarantees that we get a good working dog. Plus, if you look at it in the overall big picture, you know, most people go buy their dogs from the pound, $100, $200. You buy them from Craigslist, you're getting a pure breed for what, $800 to $1,000, but you're getting a 6-week-old puppy. If we trained that puppy from 6 weeks up to be a police dog, you're looking at all my training time. You're looking at all the downtime I'll have from not having my dog on the street, and we're talking a year, maybe 2 years. And after that, end of that year to 2 years, he may not even make it as a police dog. So that's why we're spending that much right out for the dogs. Plus, some guy over in Holland had to put up with him for 2.5 years, training him every day, feeding him, caring for him. So when you break that down to almost 3 years of training, it's only $3 grand a year that guy made off this dog. Not a very good living. At least here it ain't. What do we use them for? We use our dogs for tracking. You see the hounds, they put them on a long leash, they go out and they follow the scent of the bad guy. Our dogs track a little different than the hounds. The hounds have those big long ears. They're bred to track, and those long ears, when they walk, sweeps the ground, stirs up the dirt, and stirs up the scent. Yeah. Oh. Yes. And it re-stirs up the scent so they can follow that track better. That's why they're able to do week-old, 3-week-old, 4-week-old tracks. Our dogs are what they call more of a trailing dog. So we come in and we track the fresh scent. So if somebody runs through the soccer field at a school, he's going to follow that fresh scent. If the guy we were looking for went this way and the fresh scent goes this way, that's what we're going to track. And the reason is we can't spend all of our time working on tracking, because we have to train them for tracking, building searching, area searching, car extractions, searching for lost people. He finds guns. So we've got a whole broad spectrum that we have to work on every week. So he gets kind of here where hounds get all the tracking training. We're in here on everything. We don't excel necessarily on any one particular thing. Being the kid thing again, the way they scent is they have that really big nose. And the way I describe it to kids is, when you walk into your house after school, you smell your mom making chocolate chip cookies. And you know that smell from growing up and smelling it every day. It's chocolate chip cookies. He walks in the same house. He smells the dough. He smells the chocolate chips. He smells the grease from the sheet. And he smells your mom in the house. And he does that all as he walks in the house. And he's not putting in his head, like we are, like, ooh, chocolate chip cookies, milk. His is, I smell food, and he breaks down whether it's food he wants. And, mommy's there, so I'm gonna go see mommy. Why do we use dogs? When they deploy us, if there's an alarm call, say here at the library, it would take 2 to 3 deputies, probably 30, 40 minutes to search this whole place tactically and safely, where with him and me and one other deputy, we can search this whole building in about 10 minutes. I can open this door, send him in, he'll go around, hit each of these doors, closed or open, smell under them, smell the cracks, and if he doesn't alert, we're out of here. And then we move on to the next one. Guy's hiding up here in the false ceiling, he'll smell that too. So we send him in, he searches, off we go. Other calls, suspicious people, suspicious vehicles, that's a 2-deputy call. So that call may set and hold for 20, 30 minutes, waiting for a second deputy to go free to help that deputy. Me and him, we go handle it. Because if I get out and the guy wants to fight me, I just push my little magic button and I got help. And it's real hard to fight me when you got 105 pounds holding your arm. I don't know if you guys lift weights or not, but hold 105 pounds out like this for about 30 seconds and see how you feel afterwards. What else? Article searching. My dog is trained to do article searching, so when we're tracking, if the bad guy loses a cell phone, loses his wallet, drops clothing, he'll find out off the track. So the guy's running, takes his hat off and throws it, he'll pick that scent up if we cross it, and he'll find that hat for me and retrieve it. So now we have evidence to show we're tracking the right person because we're finding the clothing that the witness gave out. He's wearing a red baseball hat. We found a red baseball hat, so we're going the right way. He solved a couple crimes because the guys running, their cell phones fall out of their pockets, and finding a cell phone in the work shirt is really hard if you're walking out there, but with a dog, they pick them right up. He said earlier he's gun trained, so if we have a shooting or a bank robbery or something like that, and we think the bad guy discarded a gun, he will find a gun for me. He can go in your house and find a hidden gun. And fortunately, his His style of training is called KNVP from Holland, and they retrieve the articles. Where Schützen, Germany style training, the dog lays down or points at the item. So every once in a while he comes running back with a gun, isn't he? And everybody's he hasn't shot anybody yet, but it's a little, a little scary to see your dog running back holding a gun. So, how do they find the guns? He doesn't go hunt a gun. I don't say, Cody, go find a gun, because he has no clue what a gun is. What he smells is he smells the metal, the plastic, the gunpowder, the oil, the scent of the person that held it. That's what he smells. When we train him to search this stuff, little kids or some of the people always ask, when you teach them for drug training, do you give them drugs? Well, no, we don't make our dogs addicted to drugs so they go hunt drugs. So what we do is we take towels, cotton towels, and we'll put those into jars, and those cotton towels will absorb that odor of the drug. And in his case, it was gunpowder, guns, and stuff like that the towel absorbed the odor of. And we take that towel out, and we play tug of war, we play fetch, and all that stuff. So when he's hunting for a gun, he's looking for a towel to play tug of war with me. So different with the bad guy. Bad guy, he's hunting bad guys. So what else? She was asking me earlier about bulletproof vests. We do a fundraiser every year. We hold a dinner at Larsa Hall in Denair. And with that money that we make from those dinners, we buy bulletproof vests for the dogs. And like us, every time we get a new dog, we get a new vest. It's not, the old vest goes with the old dog. Our vests are good for 5 years. Dogs are probably a little bit longer because they don't wear them all the time. But we try to, get a new vest, a new dog, so it fits him. He was measured for the vest, and it'll function properly for him if he's out using it. We also use that money to pay for medical stuff for our retired dogs. We had, in 2013, 5 of our retired dogs get put down all at once. It was all within 3 months. It's pretty hard. So we use that money to pay for the bills to cover the cost. This guy here, like I said, he's 7. He'll probably work another year, maybe a year and a half, just because of his size, he breaks down quicker. And when he retires, his medical bills are going to be a lot, because he's jumping out of cars every day for 7 years or 6 years, whatever his work career is. He jumps fences, he gets punched, he gets kicked, he gets thrown around. They pin him against the wall thinking that'll get him off. And so his body goes through a lot. And vet bills tend to be a lot. We go to Dr. Baker on Coffee Road. He cuts us a break on the retired dogs. And so we use that money for that. But we also use our money from our association to do Toys for Tots coming up for the Children's Crisis Centers. There's, I think, 6 or 7 in Stanislaus County now. So we take them and we bus them to the hangar, and what's his name? 511 Dan Costas gives us his hangar to use, and we fly Santa Claus in the helicopter, and all the kids, all the kids get to watch through the window Santa come in. We do the toys, and then we buy the centers. Like last year, we bought them cribs and computers and all that stuff. And then we do Shop at the Cop with Riverbank Police Services, and Shop at the Cop with Patterson Services. So our association money goes to pay for that too. And I guess we're buying bicycles for Valley Home. They're going to do attendance. I guess their attendance is bad right now. So they're going to try to award good attendance with bicycles. And so our association's buying 6 bicycles for Valley Home. Questions on the dogs? Yes, ma'am.
When you mentioned that when the dogs are elderly,
yes,
they get put down. And I know they're tired. Is it possible? They're not usually sick, are they? Or
when we retire them?
When you retire them?
No, we usually retire them based on performance. They start slowing down. They don't run as fast. They may have issues jumping in and out of the car. We've gone to those great SUVs, and so instead of jumping into a car this high, they're now jumping into a platform this high.
Sure.
So it takes a lot on their hindquarters to do that.
They probably get like arthritis.
Yeah, yeah. My first dog retired from arthritis. My second dog, he worked till he was 12. So he was up there, but he was strong and performed, so he kept working.
Well, instead of putting him down, you mean get rid of them permanently. Would it ever behoove you guys to think about, seniors or people with cancer?
Well, they were put down because of health issues, not because not because we were done with them.
Okay.
My dog came down with liver failure,
Oh, okay.
so he had to be put down.
I understand.
One of the other dogs had a cancer growth and
Yeah.
finally couldn't eat or drink anymore, so he had to be put down.
I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
we just don't say, oh, you're done.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. No, I spend more time with him than my wife. So.
He's beautiful.
Hey, he doesn't talk back.
Oh, no, he does. He does, and he's not real shy about gas in the car either. So.
What was that about gas in the car?
Him.
Oh.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So how long have you had him with you?
Too long, obviously.
And when they
4 years.
retire, does he stay with you, or does
It depends. My first dog I gave to somebody else, and he had him a couple years before he had to be put down. And my last dog, the family wouldn't let me get rid of him, so we had to keep them both separated. So it was real hard for almost a year and a half to keep two big dogs
I was gonna
separated.
say.
One would go in the kennel, the other one would get to come out and run. The retired dog, he got to run to the house, and so he was either the backyard or kennel, and the other dog got, backyard or house. So it's hard to do.
Why did you keep them separate? Were they aggressive, or?
Yeah, they're alpha dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like two men living in the same house. Ain't gonna happen for long.
Do you notice that the dogs too, after they retire and they're in your home or whatever, they do tendencies like they're working, that kind of?
She asked that earlier too. They do start to convert to home life, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
But they still get all excited when you get dressed in uniform. They want to go.
Is that right?
So they get really antsy and pace around, wanting to go in the cars. They'll sit there, and if some cop show comes on the TV, siren goes off, they'll go.
Oh.
Like, yeah, is it time? Is it time? So yeah, it's hard for them to break the habits, but they do mellow out, and they do, lose their, I don't want to call it aggression, but their
Their habit of going out
yeah,
there.
their working sense. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
How many years does this career last?
My career, his. So mine's almost done, I hope. He's on 4 years in October this month. So, like I said, he'll probably do another year, maybe a year and a half at tops, because of, like I said, his size. He's breaking down quicker than my old dog that was only 75 pounds. So, there's goods and bads with these. My 75-pound dog is a rocket, ran 30 miles an hour. The fastest human alive runs 27 miles an hour, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. So you're not going to outrun the dog. He's a little slower. My old dog would hit you hard, knock you down, but he, because of his weight, you could lift him up easier. He catches you, you're done. He's, like I said, 105 pounds versus the average man. He's half your weight. We had a home invasion in Modesto, and we chased the guys all the way out past Gustine, and they finally pulled into an orchard, and 5 of them ran. And he caught one of the kids, 17-year-old, armed with a gun, and ran through the orchard. He caught him. By the time I could put my car in park and get out, he was bringing the kid back to me.
Wow.
Yeah. He had him by the arm and was dragging him back.
So when they track people, when people are running away from something, they drop a different scent as, say, the average
See,
person.
that's a good question. Everybody thinks that dogs smell fear. Dogs don't smell fear. They may smell if you stink, but they don't smell fear, the adrenaline. What they smell, and this is what freaks the kids out, is you sit there every day, you shed 6 layers of skin. So, lots of skin. Your shoes have another, I just polished my boots because I thought the sheriff was going to be there. So, I got the smell of fresh shoe polish on. My clothes smell whatever detergent my wife uses. So all that is one odor. And as I walk through the room, I'm dropping skin, I'm dropping, I'm setting down shoe prints. If I'm in grass, I'm breaking the grass, and bacteria in grass starts growing within 30 seconds. So that puts off a different odor than all the other grass in that field. And so when he tracks, he's smelling skin flakes, rafts, or whatever you want to call them. He's smelling the odor of my shoes. He's smelling the odor of the detergent in my clothing. He's smelling my clothing, saying, "Oh, we smell nice and fresh," or whatever. But he actually smells cotton. He can smell nylon. And, they train dogs to smell cancer inside the body. So they're amazing.
How would that, you said that if you were getting in a boxing match, you can push a button and you can get help. Now, how would he decide which one of you two to get?
Hopefully he looks. No. Officers do get bit in fights because the dog's not going up and looking at me and going, "Oh, I'm going to bite you because you yelled at me the other day."
Right.
He sees a hand moving, and that's what he's going to grab. So we had one of our deputies bit in the leg by his own dog because a bad guy ran and jumped the fence, and they go running up to the fence, and the deputy reaches out to kick the fence through, and all the dog sees is a leg coming by his head, and went, bam.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got bit.
Somebody do that.
Yeah. Being a canine handler, it's not if you're going to get bit by a dog, it's when, and then how bad. So.
What about when you have multiple officers in a search? How does he not know to go after them?
It's funny you asked that. He's been on the street for 4 years. He knows uniforms. So all of you guys had a police uniform on, and there was a guy back there in the back, he'd go bite that guy because he recognizes uniforms.
So the plain clothes guys gotta watch out.
Yes, but they gotta watch out anyhow because we don't like him either. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if we were, say, on the school ground and there was an active shooter deal, we couldn't release the dog and expect him to run through all the students and bite the bad guy. Because we can't go that one right there. He doesn't understand that. He's looking for whoever's running, and they're like us, they're lazy, so he's gonna go for the closest runner.
So a late night burglary job where there's one guy in a building and you gotta search him, that's great.
I'm sorry, do what?
So if you have like a burglary job at night, that one guy's in a store somewhere after hours and you use the dog, it's really works well in that kind of situation.
Yeah, it's really good because like this library, if it's been closed for a couple hours, all these odors in here have created kind of a one odor. So the guy hiding in here, he's gonna be a different odor from everything else in here. Hey, you off. Yeah. Blind. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you gonna keep him?
Not now, I'm not.
He didn't mean that.
I don't know. It depends on my next dog. This is a job for me. I mean, he is my partner and all that stuff, but this is my job. So if I keep him and I get a new dog and there's really big issues because of it, the other dog's performance is failing because of this dog, I have to get rid of him. So,
Does he know different uniforms? Like, will he know not to bite a CHP?
no, we teach him to bite CHP.
The basic CHP right here.
I'm kidding. No, they actually do. And that's one of the things we have to, as handlers, have to work on, is we actually have to get them out and socialize them around other officers so they understand the guys in the uniforms are okay. We have issues with firemen because they wear the big coats, and that looks like a bite suit. So, and we tell them they sleep all the time, so bite them. So.
Can you give him a treat now?
So we're done. Otherwise,
What? We all want to pet him. How often do you go through retraining with him? Do you train?
We train every Wednesday as a group in a structured setting that's recorded, and then we do basically training every day. So like right now it's training. If we come here and somebody's leaving, say the janitors were here, and they go, "Oh, sorry, we set the alarm off." We're like, "Okay, can we use the building for a minute?" And we'll send somebody in to hide to take a bite for us. Just so when he gets out of the car, that's why he's so excited now, because he's out of the car and he's on leash and we're on duty. he thinks, I'm here to do something. So, that,
You know, we have big dogs, not that big, but, what do you call it, items, do you have a specific for how old the dogs are?
we feed him cat food.
What is it?
Cat food.
Cats. Yeah, you feed cats. No wonder they chase everybody, right?
No, we don't. We feed Nutra.
Nutra?
Yeah, is what he's getting right now. We used to do Eukanuba, then Eukanuba changed their formula.
That's special because it makes them for the more endurance dogs?
It's a more refined food. There's a lot of things in food you buy like at Walmart that's really bad for dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, corn, chicken, you see chicken byproducts versus chicken meal. Chicken meal's bad, byproducts are good. Dogs eat chickens, in the wild they would eat a chicken whole, bones and all. So we do the byproduct because it's actual product from the chicken. It's not like McNuggets, we don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we feed them that, and they don't get people food. They don't get table scraps. Some of the guys feed twice a day. I feed once a day, just because he would eat everything I gave him.
They'll really go after somebody, right?
Yeah. You're hungry, huh? So we train with kibbles in the pocket. Yes, sir.
How's your duty shift work? Are you on call or do you do a regular
I
shift?
work
Just have it off?
24/7, 7 days a week.
Don't
Tell
know.
by the eyes. No, we're on 12-hour shifts. So we have 3 shifts, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., 7 p.m., 7 a.m., and then the beginning of February, we created a swing shift because we actually have some people back. And so we have 4 people assigned to the 3 to 3 car.
So would you do a regular patrol and just be a patrolman with a dog? Or?
Yes. Used to be, back before the day, 5 years ago, we had enough people to cover beats, and we were considered rovers. So we'd fill in where people needed help. We would back up other units, and we'd do independent patrol. We'd go out and do our own active stuff. With the cuts, we're down so many deputies that we now have a beat too.
What's your beat?
Mine's South Modesto. Yeah. Yep. We're trying to get, we have a new K-9 on my shift, which is A squad, which is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, over there, Wednesday night. And we're trying to get him assigned to the 8 car, which is Salida.
So in an ideal world, would every officer field a dog?
It would be awesome.
Would that be-
Because you would have dogs like him that find people. You'd have dogs that did drugs, didn't do drugs, but found drugs. And you would have dogs that search for specifically lost people. So we don't have to worry about them biting them at the end of the search. That's one of the things we have to weigh is finding the lost person worth them possibly getting bit, or is it, not worth using the dog. So we had an old lady walk away from one of the homes on Kiernan a couple years ago, and they did a foot search, couldn't find her. We tracked, not him, but my old dog, found her in the backyard. She had fallen in an abandoned house and broken her leg. So she would have died if we didn't use the dog.
How does your dog know if he's working or not? That's it?
Yep. Yeah. As soon as I get in the shower at night, hears the shower go on from outside, starts pacing back and forth. He sits there and stares in the windows and doors at me, and if I'm putting green on, he's ready to go. So it's, they get that internal clock and they know when it's time.
And wearing green, is that a change? You guys were wearing black for a while.
No, it just works good with my complexion. No, the reason, originally, we were tan and green, and K-9s were black. Then the whole department went to black, so we went to green. What it does is, if a dog's out working and there's 4 or 5 deputies, they can quickly identify who the handler is and get behind him. So, that's the reason behind
So
it.
you're wearing a different color.
Yeah, it's to help the other officers quickly identify us. Things happen quick when you pop the door and the dog comes running out. So,
Yeah, my question, I had a couple. There was, you said something about you don't have a dog in Salida for this assigned city, but you have them in Desto. How many dogs do you have? But if Salida needed them, there was a home invasion here last year in our couple of blocks away from me. would you guys call them in?
Yeah, see, they try to assign the canines to a central beat, so we can make it anywhere in a reasonable amount of time. When we have 2 dogs on, there's supposed to be 2 dogs on day shift, 2 dogs on graveyard. One's assigned north of the river, and one's assigned south of the river.
Oh, I see.
So that way we can kind of cover the 2 sides. But if it's a 2-dog call, I'll come north of the river, or he'll go south of the river to supplement. Because sometimes searches take 2-3 hours.
Sure.
And a dog's good for, if you're doing yard-to-yard searches, maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes before they have to take a break. If we're tracking and it's 100 degrees out through an orchard, he may only be good for 10 minutes. So this dog may track for 10 minutes. I'll pull him out, have the next guy pull up in his patrol car. I'll throw my dog in his patrol car and let my dog, have a break, drink water while his dog's out searching. And when his dog's done, we'll swap again. So my longest track with my old dog was over 3 miles in Waterford. Had a guy went in for home invasion.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. It's nice that you guys watch the time limit. You really take care of the dogs.
We do. We luckily, and he's not here, so I'm not trying to promote myself, but the sheriff has done us really well. We have some of the best equipment for our dogs. I don't know if you've read the articles about dogs dying in cars from heat exhaustion. Our sheriff has bought us these little fancy things. We have monitors, my car's temperature. I can look right now and see one side of my car is 60 degrees and the other side is 63 degrees. So I know exactly what my dog's doing in my car. If it goes over 85 degrees, it starts beeping and vibrating, so I know I have to go check on my dog. So they need these for kids. Yeah.
Does that tell you if he's doing his business somewhere too?
No. No. And that's a funny thing too. People are impressed by this, but it's not because we go out and we train it, but we take our dogs out every couple hours to go to the restroom, break them, and when we get them out, we always tell them to go to the bathroom, go potty, and they do their business. So if we're out doing stuff, and we'll say, hey, go potty, they'll walk over a tree and do their thing, and people are like, wow, you taught your dog to pee. Well, no, he just knows it's a break. Because I said, go, you're free, or whatever, so he goes and does his business. So we try, but occasionally they have issues. They get excited and they spray stuff everywhere. I've been to more than one car wash. So, you had a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask if you had any additional equipment to keep the car cool.
Yeah, we, a typical K-9 car versus a regular patrol car, we have the heat alarms. The heat alarm is also my door pop. My door is operated on a piston, so I push a button on there, it'll open my door and bring my dog to me, hopefully. He won't go, you're on your own. But he'll come to me, and then we have a cage in the car. The cage has got a back side, a right side, left side, front, bottom, and top. So if we get in a rollover accident, he can't be ejected out of a window. He's protected inside that cage. He may get knocked around quite a bit, but he won't get ejected out of the vehicle. And the cage is also strong enough it'll keep my roof from caving in to help protect him. Plus the cages we use is a company called Shield. If we do get in a crash, he can come out his door, he can come out in between the 2 front seats, or I can take him out on the other side through a little trap door. They're well thought out. And then we carry water. Our association bought first aid kits for our dogs. So the officers have one of those little metal Z first aid kits, it has the Band-Aids and the gauze and all that stuff. He's got a $1,500 first aid kit with wraps, gauze, tweezers, thermometers, saline, cold packs, hot packs. There's stuff to splint him. There's stuff to immobilize his mouth. We have the oxygen masks for dogs that AMR will come out and give us an oxygen tank if we need it. We carry IV bags, so dog's shot or something, we can hook an IV into them right away and get fluids into them before we get them to the vet. So,
Do they train you on CPR for animals?
Yes. We all went to, there's a Western States Police K-9 Association. on top of our association. It's the kind of northern United States Association for Canines. All of us are members of it, and they put on training that's open to all canine units in the area. And they put on a first aid class. It's 8 hours. They bring in some vets from UC Davis, and they teach us how to do IVs. They bring pound dogs for us to put Band-Aids on and stuff. And so we also socialize with those dogs, so they're better to adopt. So they use these dogs for training for us, and us for training for the dogs. And we practice, just putting Band-Aids on their legs and checking their temperature and how to check the teeth and make sure they're not in heat exhaustion. You push on the gum of the dog. It's like our finger, you pinch it, it goes white, it should turn pink in 1 to 2 seconds. Same with the dog. If you push on his gum, it should do the same thing. So they teach us that. Like I said, the IVs. They teach us how to do CPR. They teach us how to do the Heimlich, believe it or not, on a dog. One of the biggest problems dogs dying is people get too small of a ball, and the dog will go up to catch it, and it'll get lodged in the throat. So, like his ball, it's he's got such a big mouth. And they also provide first aid kits for the units that don't have them. So, yeah, it's come a long way. The original dog was used to just tear people apart. They brought the dogs out to just chew people apart. Now, when we buy our dogs, we look for a dog that can be petted. So anybody can come in here and pet him. If he bites a bad guy, literally 10 minutes later, the bad guy can come over and pet him. Because unlike us, the dog doesn't hold animosity. You could spit on my dog, and he's like, I don't know what you did, who cares? If you spit on me, you're gonna get punched. But I mean, that's the deal with dogs. Is we like to bring them to the schools. I've had 400 kids surrounding us going, oh, he's a good doggy, he's a good doggy. And he just sits there and takes it off. So, and those kids remember that positive experience with the sheriff's department. Never remember me. They all, oh, Cody came back. Well, who am I? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I went to a neighborhood watch meeting several months ago over off of in the Woodland area, and they'd had a lot of dog attacks over there where people have been attacked by different dogs, mostly pit bulls that also attack some little dogs. Do they ever get used for tracking down those kind of dogs that attack, or the mountain lion and turtle?
I've actually had to shoot dogs because they come after my dog. My dog's always on a leash. I always have control of him unless I'm deploying him on a running person. But then I know he's got the fix on that person. He bites the person. I put my leash on and he's back on his leash. We go through South Modesto. We have dogs that chase us down the street all the time. We try to use our tasers to keep them away, but some of them doesn't affect them at all. And I know it's bad, but out of my 8 dogs I've had to shoot in my career, 7 have been pit bulls.
What about the mountain lion? Do you use them to track the mountain lion?
I had issues with the mountain lion. We only know of one real mountain lion that's been seen. We've been called dozens and dozens of times for mountain lions, and we get out there, it's a dog that looks like him. Some lady called because in Denair, she was chased by 2 mountain lions down Zeering. Yeah, and we're like, okay. Mountain lions don't usually pack, and they don't normally chase cars. It's not one of their habits. So, yeah. So we go out there, and it's 2 big brown dogs.